You're feeling right, you start making out, and she took off her pants. Get away for a while. I'll be there when your heart starts beating. I'll be there when you're...
Mark Hoppus was born in Ridgecrest, California on the 15th of March 1972 to Kerry Wernz and Tex Hoppus. His father worked for the US Department of Defense, where he used to design missiles and bombs. He has one sister. His parents divorced when Mark was only 8, and it had a drastic effect on him. He later described his childhood as quite lonesome. He began skateboarding and listening to punk rock when he was in junior high school. Over the next few years, he became quite fond of punk rock music. He received a bass guitar as a gift from his father when he was 15, and he started teaching himself by playing to several bands. However, he never took formal lessons. He used to dress like Robert Smith, whom he idolized, and perform in birthday parties and concerts. He graduated from Burroughs High School in 1990. He aspired to become a teacher and joined the California State University San Marcos. However, it did not take him long to realize that he had no interest in academics, thus he dropped out in order to pursue a musical career. During the summer of 1992, Mark Hoppus was introduced to Tom DeLonge by his sister. Shortly after their meeting, DeLonge and Hoppus began performing together. Later they also recruited DeLonge's old friend Scott Raynor, who became their drummer. Eventually they named their band as Blink-182. The band released their debut album Cheshire Cat in 1995. They toured extensively in order to promote their album. Though the album didn't impact any charts in the US, it entered the Australian and New Zealand charts. Their second album Dude Ranch performed better commercially, reaching the 67th position on the US Billboard 200, and the 100th position on the UK Albums Chart. It also topped the US Top Heatseekers Chart. Their fame increased with their third album Enema of the State in 1999, which reached the 9th position on the US Billboard 200. It also entered the charts in various other countries. Though it received some criticism, it was a huge commercial success and is considered one of the best works of the band. In 2016, it was mentioned by the Rolling Stone magazine as one of the 40 greatest punk albums of all time. Their fourth album, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, was released in 2001. It topped the US Billboard 200 and also stood at the 4th position on the UK Albums Chart. The album was appreciated by critics as well. Their self-titled album, released after 2 years, was also met with favorable reviews from the critics. It stood at the 3rd position on the US Billboard 200. Hoppus collaborated with the band 44 on their only studio album When Your Heart Stops Beating in 2006. The album reached the 10th position on the US Billboard 200 but did not become a commercial success. The lyrics of all the songs in the album were written by Hoppus. After a gap of several years, Blink released their 6th album Neighborhoods in 2011. It stood at the 2nd position on the US Billboard 200, and entered the charts in various other countries. It sold 151,000 copies in the first week itself. The next year the band released an EP, Dogs Eating Dogs. It stood at the 23rd position on the US Billboard 200. Their 6th studio album California was released in 2016. It entered many charts across the world and reached the top 10 in several countries. It stood at the 1st position on the US Billboard 200 as well as the UK Albums Chart. It received a Grammy nomination for Best Rock Album as well. One of the most important works in Mark Hoppus' career is his band's 3rd studio album Enema of the State. The album, which was released in 1999, included singles such as What's My Age Again and All the Small Things. It was praised by critics and was also a commercial success. It reached the 9th position on the US Billboard 200 and also entered the charts in several other countries like Australia, Belgium, Canada, Finland, Italy and Norway. His band's album California was another major international success. It included singles such as Bored to Death, She's Out of Her Mind and No Future. The album received mixed reviews from the critics, but it was a big success commercially. It debuted at the first position on the US Billboard 200 as well as the UK Albums charts. It entered the charts in several other countries as well. It also earned a nomination for the Grammy Award. Mark Hoppus got married to Sky Everly in 2000. Interestingly, it was his bandmate Tom who had first asked Sky to date Mark, though she refused initially. The couple eventually clicked and started dating. They had one son in 2002. Hoppus is a libertarian and also a vegan. He was a co-owner of two companies, Atticus and Macbeth Footwear. He later sold his shares in the companies. Hoppus has also appeared in multiple TV shows and films.
Fun. I just bring her down. I said, don't let your future be destroyed by my past. She said,